Next up is a nutritious superfood made from a surprising ingredient.
Hello, sharks. My name is James Berry. I live in historic Boston, Massachusetts, and I'm here seeking $250,000 for 6% equity in my company.
Yeesh.
Did you know organ meats are among the most nutrient-dense foods on the planet? We call them Mother Nature's multivitamin. I'm talking liver.
Marvin's not a fan.
Spleen.
Ooh.
Pancreas.
Oh
my God.
Enough.
Just chills.
And what Mr. Wonderful is missing, heart.
Damn, that's a heart.
Most people struggle to cook them. And for many, it's hard to even digest the idea of actually eating them. They have textures most people would avoid. And frankly, they're a tough sell. Hey, what if I told you you could have all that great nutrition, but stomach it too? Well, now you can with Pluck. Pluck is the first ever seasoning blend made with grass-fed, grass-finished beef organ meats, just like the ones you see here, but you'd never know it from the taste. Sprinkle our seasoning on pizza, popcorn, or even avocado toast. If you can salt it, you can pluck it. Adults love it, and kids, well, they'll actually eat it. Pluck provides a nutritional powerhouse packed full of essential vitamins, minerals, and nutrients your body craves but rarely gets. Sharks, it's time to reconnect with how our bodies were designed to eat. Let's season the world and get people plucked, one sprinkle at a time. Now, under your cloak.
And we are back with another Shark Tank reaction video. I am your host, Dave, a 10+ year intellectual property attorney dealing with everything from patents, copyrights, trademarks, as well as trade secrets. And I can tell you this, with a food or seasonings, that's kind of not something that you would get patented. However, it's something that can fall in the realm of a trade secret, especially if it's kind of unique proprietary seasoning, a formula, whatever the case may be. You can get trade secrets on keep trade seasonings as trade secrets. So just kind of keep that in mind as we're kind of going through this thing. It's probably not going to come up in terms of the intellectual property part of it with the trade secrets. However, that is something that you can protect, a way in which you can protect your formula, seasoning, whatever the case may be. So with that being said, now the three things plus the bonus that I look for is how simple is it? Now it's a seasoning, so it's kind of pretty straightforward, simple for the end user. How effective is it? A lot of times that effectiveness is going to be told by the sales as well as the reviews. And I'll tell you what, man, what is it? $4.1 million valuation, $250,000 for 6%. So I would imagine that is some sales for this thing. Then what's the market like? Now, he was talking about grass food or grass-fed seasonings or whatever the case may be. It seems like it's a superfood seasoning. And to be honest with you, I am not as in the know about the seasonings, whether it's a grass-fed seasoning or it's a regular seasoning. However, again, for the $4 million valuation, man, hey, something might have been going on. Like I said, the market, it's a lot of seasonings out there. I'm not sure if grass-fed seasonings is our thing, or is that something that's kind of unique in and of itself. We'll see as the Sharks, kind of grill this guy with questions. Then a fourth and a final one, which I kind of touched on earlier, is the intellectual property. Are you protecting the intellectual property? Now, he does have actually a number of trademarks on Pluck. So shouts out to Jamie Ford protecting the trademark or the name or the branding by way of a trademark. So shouts out to that. And again, he may have some trade secret protection on it. A trade secret is not something you file with the office. Copyrights you file with the Copyright Office. Patents and trademarks you file with the United States Patent and Trademark Office. However, with the trade secret, you take steps to keep it a secret. So password, I was actually having a conversation with somebody earlier today about this. Password protected files, locking formulas and secrets up in a safe so that no one can access it unless you absolutely need it. So you have to take reasonable measures to keep whatever it is that you're trying to protect by way of a trade secret, as opposed to filing that paperwork with a federal or governmental body. So just kind of keep that in mind as we're going through this thing. As I go back to the actual pitch to see whether or not this gentleman gets a deal, please hit that like button for the YouTube algorithm, as well as hit that subscribe button to be a part of the IP community. We got some cool things coming up, man. So you'll definitely want to be a part of those as we get off into them very shortly. So let's get back to it and see if this gentleman gets a deal. Let's go. Seems like Barbara wasn't a fan.
Are our line of seasonings. And then I've prepared meals already pre-seasoned with Pluck. The steak has the spicy mild. The avocado toast has the zesty garlic, and the popcorn has the original. So please dig in and bon appetit.
Eat.
It tastes good. It reminds me of like regular seasoning.
Yeah.
It reminds me of salt.
I agree. The taste was really good. I was surprised when you showed me the meat, because that kind of freaks me out a little bit.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I don't want to taste it, but I would
good.
never know what's in there. Now, if I read the ingredients, I would be surprised that was in there. I want to know, how much of this do you have to eat? How much of this do I need a day?
Yeah, it's a great question. The problem is that most people, there's only two ways to get it. You either cook it or you take it in supplement form. But when we take it in supplement form, health is now an isolated moment. We have capsule fatigue.
Right.
But how much do you have to sprinkle on, to Joanna's point? Do I have to put like a teaspoon of it
How much are you eating right now?
Of what?
Organs.
I don't eat organs at all.
Exactly. So you're going to go from 0 to something. So basically,
That may or may not be a great answer because
no. But I'm not done though. I'm not done.
Uh-oh,
here's
this
the
guy's
thing.
a little
What is the thing
feisty.
that truly moves our health? It's the little things we do
But
daily.
eating protein, lean proteins, fruits
It's not
and
enough.
veg.
Why are 95% of Americans nutrient deficient?
All right,
But
couple
if
quick
you
questions,
buy
James. What
frozen
is your
vegetables,
background?
they're incredibly nutrient dense.
Still not as nutrient dense as they once were, because our topsoil is not as nutrient dense. And then, of course, it matters
agree with
about
the
the
topsoil.
quality of the vegetables.
You know
What's
what's
your
hard for me
background?
here? I know that this is your passion and you really believe in it, but it's just not connecting for me.
Organ meats are incredibly nutrient dense. And so what I'm more saying, see, I'm a chef. I've been a professional chef for 20 years.
I want to hear this.
Yeah,
How did we get to
I'm-
this?
I worked for Tom Cruise, George Clooney, Gerard Butler, and I supported them with their health. I've seen a lot of trends come and go, but the one trend that doesn't seem to deviate, that still people have trouble actually accepting, is real food. Real food works.
100%.
And that's the beautiful thing about Pluck. All you got to do is salt your food as you already eat.
You have a piece of liver up there that's disgusting to look at.
Oh, yeah, it's
Yeah,
like-
it's terrible.
Exactly like the liver my grandfather made me eat, which I still hate him to this day.
which is why Pluck exists, right?
Can I ask you something? The sprinkling of the steak here, is that like the equivalent of a quarter piece of liver, a half a piece of liver, a whole piece?
Yeah.
I have no sense of proportion.
Yes, so the pure one, that is 100% organ meat. There's no salt, there's nothing in that. 1 teaspoon of that is equal to 2 ounces of organs.
Wow.
Yeah.
If Mr. Wonderful eats enough of this stuff, could he develop a heart?
I happen to agree with a lot of what you're saying, okay? I have also gone down the longevity path. I'm just kind of wondering if we can look at this and say 250,000, 6%, 4.1 million valuation. You better be shaking a lot of shakers for that valuation. So why don't you tell us about your sales?
Yes, thank you. Our first year, 100,000. We then
What was your
that
first
year?
year? What year was it?
2021.
2021, 100.
Triple
2022
the
is
next
how?
year. Triple the next year.
300,000?
300?
Yep.
Okay,
And
and
then the
then-
next year we doubled, 600. And then last year was 1.3. And then we're already on track to do 2 million this year.
James, good work.
Thank
Good
you.
work.
How are you selling it? Direct to consumer?
Our e-commerce is about 65%. We have 30% on Amazon, and then we have wholesale at 5%.
Tell me about the business. You know, I mean, how much do these cost? How much do you sell them for?
So we have 4 SKUs right now, $290. That's how much it costs us. We sell it for $28.
$28
$28?
Yes, but here's the thing. You can't just think of it as a seasoning. It's a supplement and a seasoning. So how much are you paying for those supplements, for example? I guarantee it's way over 28.
But your amount
James, I want to clear the
here.
floor a little and leave the deal for the other sharks. I'm not buying into it for whatever reason. Mostly, I think it's your communication style more than what your messaging actually is. And your enthusiasm for selling it, there's something about the way in which you're doing it that's rubbing me the wrong way. It makes me almost feel you're argumentative more than salesmanship. So I just couldn't picture myself in a partnership with you. So I'm out. I'm sorry to say.
I appreciate your honesty.
And as Barbara goes out, I kind of do want to hit on a number of things. Number one, man, again, this stuff is working regardless if we think it's worth a $4.1 million valuation. He's on pace to do $2 million this year. Starting from 2021, he has went up each and every year from 100,000 to 300,000 to 600,000 to 1.3 and a projected of 2 million. And a lot of it seems like the overwhelming majority of it is actually through his e-commerce website. again, 35% it seems like it's through Amazon from what he's saying. 5% it seems like it's a brick and mortar, and the other 60% is through his own e-commerce. So shouts out to him for that, man. And that's actually one of the big reasons why I try to push entrepreneurship and get your product out there, because this is not yesterday. I was doing an interview earlier this week, and I was talking about the benefits of the internet, e-commerce platforms, and being able to kind of sell this thing without having to be in the Walmarts, the Costco, the big box retailers, the Target, as you had to be in yesteryear to have success as an entrepreneurship. You can start an e-commerce platform and sell this thing, and if it picks up, then hey, that's just more the merrier from a DTC, direct-to-consumer standpoint. So shouts out to that. Now, I will say from Barbara's perspective, I kind of see what she's talking about. The gentleman, from a sales standpoint, it hasn't been very, and I don't necessarily like the whole salesy thing, but it hasn't been very persuasive. It kind of is like, just try to push it down your throat, which it seems like the Sharks, at least Barbara, didn't like that. It seems like Lori, he kind of rubbed Lori the wrong way. Mr. Wonderful, it seems like he's more of a dollars and cents guy. And he seems to kind of be able to kind of connect with that path. But it seems like from a messaging standpoint, that hasn't hit home as much as it seems like it should, number one. And then it seems like it is an important food. You're talking about supplements and an alternative to supplements, just kind of being able to sprinkle these seasonings on your food and still have that same impact. That's a very important thing, a very powerful thing. But it seems like the messaging kind of hasn't kind of landed in a way that I would probably like it to land, as well as the Sharks. So let's get back to it and see if he can get this thing back on the right track and ultimately get a deal with one of the 4 Sharks that's left. It's not looking good, but let's go.
So thank you,
So
Barbara.
I am not really jiving with this.
Uh-oh.
It does taste good, but I just am not getting from this clearly the health benefit of this at all. So I'm out.
James, I'm going to use your product. I didn't have any problem with your presentation. I have a problem with your valuation and the amount of capital you're asking for. If this was 100K or something, it's a flyer, $250,000, a lot of money. I don't see how I'd ever get my money back out of this. I'm out.
I'm struggling a lot because
Daniel, you understand being frustrated with the food industry. I know that. You know
I
that
know,
better
but
than
like
anybody.
you can't.
We need to help people.
James, I'm sorry. It's just not for me. I'm out.
And then there was one.
Listen, James, Joe and I sort of feel like I'm on the opposite side of the spectrum from Barbara. From our perspective, our seat, we're like, man, this guy knows what he's talking about. He knows his stuff. He's hitting these really hard topics right on the head. We live on a farm. When you said the idea of eating, real food, I mean, Daniel said amen. Collectively, I think we all agree. But for Joe and I, this is not an easy message. This is not an easy thing to try to convince somebody of. I think we all collectively feel like we're not sure exactly how this shakes out. So for those reasons, Joe and I are going to be out.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Good luck.
Thank you, guys. And I hope you all use it. I really do believe it makes a difference.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, you win some, you lose some. I think maybe it's possible that I was a little too excited, but I am. I can't apologize for being passionate about helping people with their health.
I would like to hear from you guys as the audience before we pull up the website. Do you think it was excitement? Do you think it was a little being kind of trying to force it down your throat? I'm not sure. It seems like it's a little bit more forceful as opposed to excited. But nonetheless, I do think, and again, he's making money. So who cares what I think? Who cares what the Sharks think? I think he'll continue to grow and do great things. But this is going to be one of those things where you have to build community and kind of really being able to get someone into the fold and telling that story. Because if I'm going to the grocery store, and I was just at a grocery store earlier, and I'm seeing seasonings $2, $3, $4, whatever the case may be, I can get with that. But if I see a seasoning for $28 and this says some fancy name such as superfood, unless I'm a health junkie and I kind of understand what all the ingredients mean and what this thing is doing, aside from being able to tell that story with the packaging, I'm going to be like, this company is crazy. So that's just kind of me. Let me know what you guys think about that as I pull up the website here. I do think the valuation was a little bit off, but kind of more importantly, I think with this one, I think as maybe Daniel was talking about, and maybe even the guest Sharks, see their name here, Chip and Joe. I think just telling that story is going to be a little bit difficult without somebody being in the community, especially for the price point of like $28 or whatever the case may be. But man, I like the website. Like I said, he has a trademark on Pluck. I'll put an R in a circle to let people know that it is a trademark term. Again, pretty straightforward website. It seems like, according to the Sharks, the The seasoning was good. Like I said, it's not, I don't think this is something that you'll get a patent on. So you're not going to see the patent protected at the bottom. Just kind of making sure here. Seems like he's on Threads. I'll try to reach out to him and get him on a podcast. But again, it seems like, man, this guy's chef over 20 years, knows his stuff. Kind of worked with some of the greats. I think he said Leo and James Cruz, or I forget the names that he said, but it seems like it was some A-list celebrity actors. So it seems like this gentleman knows his stuff. Now I'm gonna have to try to check some of this stuff out. It's $28. But I'm sure I have to get at least one of those seasoning packets, not a number of them. But again, it seems like he's sold over or projected to sell $2 million this year. So to the extent that you've bought this thing, let me know what you think in the comments. I always love to hear you guys' comments, your feedback. Some interesting comments, so some more than interesting comments. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Before we wrap this thing up, please hit that like button for the YouTube algorithm, as well as hit that subscribe button to be a part of the IP community. And I'll catch you guys next time. You guys take care. Peace.